Hello everyone, welcome to Smart Investing. My name is Albert, and today's video uh, it's just an update discussion about what's been going on these past few weeks. So, uh, not in particular order with these topics, just a few topics: politics, technology, Bitcoin, and basically whatever else comes to mind that uh, I have to say, or whatever's necessary that's been trending. So, again, by no means the whole political topic. I want you guys to understand that um, I'm going to be as neutral as possible. I'm just going to state the facts and state what's been going on. So, basically, the past few weeks, there was an attempt on the potential candidate presidency on Donald Trump. So he was almost assassinated, and this happened over the weekend, a few weeks ago. And I want to state that I'd say the past few months, especially this year, uh, there's been quite a few things that have been happening over the weekend. Uh, when I do my finance stuff, I even work over the weekends. So um, I find it a little strange how major events are starting to happen over the weekend. I don't know if this is a normal occurrence, but it's starting to be. And it's kind of crazy, and it interrupts with what I do because now I have to catch up. And then uh, it's things like this where I don't throw a video out right away because I want to understand all the facts. But the thing is, on top of that, there might be a chain reaction to that, and there might be um, other sources of information that are involved that are not yet involved in order to put everything together. If people might want to understand what I'm saying. So when something happens, it's like, a few days later you have the FBI involved, and then Secret Service involved, and all these other government agencies, and they want to have court cases, and then everybody, all these other people want to get involved. So this is why I have to play the waiting game a little bit and see what else is going on. But this has been a crazy major update that has been um, affected a lot of people, a lot of people, um, us as Americans. So it's kind of crazy somebody tried to assassinate potential president. Uh, I mean, aside from that, we even had, a person killed, you know, just a regular American citizen. Nothing to do with, uh, what was going on. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. That was another thing that was affecting the crowd. I think a few other people got injured. So, anyways, aside from that, kind of sucks to see that violence is getting even further. That's what is gonna be kind of crazy coming up these few months, and then especially with the presidency. I'll speak a little bit uh, more on that a little bit later on because everything is going into sequence. So, uh, any more thoughts on that and how can it relate to the stock market? I'll tell you this. Aside from him getting assassinated, it is what it is. Some people like him, some people don't. Um, I'm gonna play neutral on that card. Uh, I'll say this: um, whether he wins or not, I think that a lot of people are very, very tilted into their political realm. Like the people are so opinionated lately, and people are very, very like passionate about politics, especially older people. Uh, I mean senior citizens when I talk about older people, and the whole movement with the MAGA and everything. Uh, this is gonna cause a lot of disruption as us as American citizens. The reason I say that is because again, people are strongly opinionated, and people feel a certain type of way as if you know we can't really agree on other things. They just want to choose a side, pick a political side, and then that's it. They just kind of want to have that belief system. Um, I think it's pretty absurd. I think it's kind of crazy. I think it's very upsetting um, to like just pick a political side and act like just because we can't agree with other people, we can't treat our fellow Americans as Americans. If what I said makes sense, I hope it makes sense. Um, it almost feels like we're treating ourselves as enemies. That's the crazy part, is what I'm trying to say. So there's just a lot of violence, a lot of escalation, a lot of like strong disagreement. I think it's only going to get worse. Whether Trump wins or not this presidency, I think there's going to be a lot of chaos, and it's just going to continue. Um, you can see the facts that uh, even when Donald Trump was running years ago, uh, he's a pretty chaotic person, pretty disruptive. I hope that he has slightly changed. I wouldn't say his ways, because he seems like the type of person who's never going to change. But I hope he can see things more in a positive demeanor, and I hope he can look at life differently, if that makes any sense. Especially when I'm trying to think of being in his shoes. Like one could only think like you're on stage. I mean, put yourself in his shoes. You're on stage. You're doing a public, you know, speaking rally, and then all of a sudden, he says he hears a like whizzing sound on his ear, like really loud noise. Then he touches his ear, sees blood, then he ducks. Um, I will say this: he reacted pretty well for what was going on. Just assessing the whole situation. Um, he reacted pretty fast, and he reacted pretty well. Um, Secret Service, they did what they had to do. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, and everybody wants to throw the 2 cents. Whatever it is, what it is. What happened happened. But again, the whole situation with this, it could have gone another way, and then if he did get assassinated, who would take his place? I don't think everyone has even thought of that. Um, who would be running? Like, what would happen in a situation like that? Because again, he never chose his vice president, his running mate, until recently, until that was afterwards. So, I mean, who would really be in the running if he was assassinated? Just throwing those scenarios out there. So anyhow, when it comes to the stock market, his life was in danger. You figure, he reacted later on, Secret Service surrounded him, protected him. Then this was Trump's doing, and you can hear it when he's kind of telling his guys while Secret Service is hovering over him, and he's just yelling like, fight on or whatever. Um, he told his guys, wait till I get up, and I want to, be courageous and tell my American people that, the fight is on. You know, I want to continue. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. Very respectable and very admirable for most people that actually seen the whole video. And again, if he does not get elected or wins, there's gonna be a lot of chaos. I can definitely see that. And then if he does get elected, uh, this is the crazy part. I think if Trump does get elected and he does become our president, um, yes, most people I think would be happy. But the thing about it is that uh, the policies, I think that uh, the way he does business, because everybody has their own way of doing things. The way Donald Trump, again, I'm not picking sides. I'm just saying it for what it is. The way he is, um, personality wise, he likes to be very, very dominant. Um, I understand, he uses logic and he tries to bargain or sometimes even manipulate people into having his own way. But when it comes to doing business with other countries, I think that's the thing. He's not a politician, and that's what people like about him. I think that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I'm talking about years ago. I think that's one of the main reasons why people liked him when he first started to even run. And then, the whole MAGA and everything, and then the whole momentum. I think that's one of the main reasons is because he's not a politician. He's a businessman. And I guess people think that, I've even spoke to personal friends as well. They say that, the country should be run as a business. While I do agree with that, it just depends on the person. Because again, everybody does business different ways. When it comes to President Trump, um, he's buddy buddy with Putin. So we're in a situation where the last 4 years, people need to understand that we are supporting 3 wars. Not one, not two, not three. I'm going to be very honest. And I think a lot of people are going to agree with me saying this. Um, Whether Trump wins or loses, honestly, um, I don't think Trump is a good selection. I don't think Biden is a good selection. I don't think Kamala Harris is a good selection. I think we should have like a total overhaul of all these people in government. And I'm just a fellow American just stating his opinion. I think many people can agree that, and just stating the facts, we're tired of sending money supporting these wars, and we can't support our own people here in the U.S. Uh, we're like wasting. Let me give you an exact number. 2022, we supported Ukraine, and then I think when was I can't even think of the exact date when we supported the uh, Israel, the war, in Gaza with Israel and all that, uh, versus Palestine. So that happened last year, and then again before uh, the Israel and the Ukraine war, This is the third war that people are not understanding. It's not an actual war, it's more like a Cold War, like a competition war. The US versus China. And the main highlight of all this is basically Taiwan. So, US has interest in Taiwan, China has interest in Taiwan. That was the first war that we are supporting. We as the government, because we don't consider ourselves the government, us as Americans, we don't agree with that. Government forgets that. They work for us, we don't work for them. But somehow, magically, we have all this money in the world that comes out of nowhere. We have spent in the Ukraine versus Russia war, and it's only been 2 years and change, over $175 billion. 175 in 2 years, or a little bit above 2 years. Tell me, what kind of company on the stock market can make an IPO in a few months and then 2 years later they're worth 175 billion? So throwing that comparison out there, that's just an insane amount of money that is being printed out of nowhere. I will say this. There's going to be some things that we do agree with certain policies that people are doing, and some other things that people are not doing. I do agree with Trump that we need to have closed borders, and that, I'm a little bit in the middle. Like, I'm not really far left or far right. I just I don't see it as a political thing. I just see it either as agreeing with the person and not agreeing with the person. It's not like, oh yeah, I like him, I'm going to agree 100% with what he or she says. We need to focus ourselves on what decisions are we actually making. The last 4 years has been hell, to be honest. The last 4 years before that were hell. I think ever since 2020, I'll say it again. Ever since 2020, lives have been impacted. The economy has been impacted. The stock market has been impacted. Craziness. The start of the decade, 2020. People need to understand this. This is real. This is not something out of the movies anymore that we're seeing. This is like real life that's happening. So, 2020, with the whole pandemic, this is where the whole chip thing started out. And then now, TSMC. And then again, Donald Trump's ticker symbol with the assassination. The very next day, I'm sorry I'm going back and forth. The very next day, anyways, cutting it short, the very next day after he got assassinated, ticker symbol DJT, which is his True Social, company, website, whatever you want to call it. After he got assassinated, almost, which was a failed attempt, his stock doubled on the stock market the very next day. A few days later, slightly downtrending. Looks like a pump and dump to me. So, because there's no momentum as to, that much excitement and that much power behind, what was going on. It was just like a weekly thing, and that was it. That was like the highlight of the week. Again, after that, Biden's commenting. He gave his speech. He felt bad. I will say this about Biden. his last speech on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day he made the speech, he made a lot of good points. And what I didn't like was I was actually listening to his speech live and reading comments, and then comments were getting deleted. Uh, Almost everything that Biden said in that speech, I pretty much agree with. It sucks that family lost their loved one, a father, and again, wrong place at the wrong time. And then on top of that, uh, people are just committed to violence. I don't think the government understands that they want everything to be okay, but then they're just, you know, doing as they please. They keep just screwing us over, and people are just fed up. That's what's going on. The government is like, separated from reality and separated from the American people and the needs of the American people. They're not like with it. We're electing these people, and they're not even um, mindful of their own citizens at all. And again, we had January 6th, major event. Like, this is historic. Start of the decade, 2020. Like I said, a lot of craziness, a lot of political violence and everything. Um, so we're supporting three wars. So first war was, and it's still ongoing. And this is the truth. Nobody's gonna really admit this. Probably later on, after you know, I actually did the detective work and everything, when it's actually quite simple as to, uh, and it's simple. Why would the U.S. protect Taiwan so much? Why? It's because of economic interest, stock market interest. Ticker symbol TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductors. Or I don't know if I said the ticker right or wrong, but the name is right. Taiwan Semiconductors. They manufacture the chips in Taiwan. We can't manufacture that. Why? We don't have the capability to do, I guess, robotics or to actually do the implementation and the design. Over 90% of the chips are actually manufactured and made in Taiwan. This is why the US has interest in Taiwan so much, because the US government wants to protect their investments. This is why we're supporting the war between China and Taiwan. And then obviously the US does not like Taiwan. And we're creating these tensions when in fact China has the leverage over us because why? We buy more products from them than they buy more products than us. So in reality, we need China. China doesn't need us as much. So, yes, in the political realm, whoever we choose as president, they need to establish really good relations with these countries. Because I'll tell you what, with Trump, uh, yes, he's going to help the American people. And I understand he's trying to do good things. And as a business person, uh, you want to create revenue and profit and, grow the money supply within your favor. But when you're a global leader, you have to get along with other countries and their leadership. So I don't really see Trump getting along with some leaders. I said this maybe as soon as he started announcing that he was going to go presidency. Um, this is so far advanced of me when I mention this. Um, I don't know the percentage, and I said this maybe I don't know 8 years ago. I said there might be a World War III because of the way Trump is, very chaotic. He likes to have his own way, and countries cannot be manipulated, and we need to be in agreement to do trade. It's not a one man show like where we're the country that rules the world. Life doesn't work like that. I mean, there's other countries that do business as trading partners. That's the way we're doing business. Um, he wants to like run his own show and do what he wants. This is not gonna end well. Um, Again, some of his policies when it comes to America, yes, it might work, but when it comes to international, I mean, it's just not gonna work. So, we have some good things, and then we have some flaws. So when it comes to Biden, he dropped out of the race. Thank God. Can't even finish the sentence. Um, Years ago when he was president, he was doing okay, but again, he's aging. You could tell he's reading off of a teleprompter. I know he has his notes. That's normal. I don't take any notes. I don't. Well, I do take notes, but I don't write them down when I do my videos. This is all off the brain. So let's make sure. Uh, okay, about 30 minutes already in. So again, I don't like talking about politics. Uh, Another possibility and another excitement on violence, when American violence. Um, this was years ago. There was another trend about American Civil War. That was another scenario where uh, people are so opinionated that there's actually more disruptions and more you know uh, crimes being committed of stealing and breaking in and entering, and people want to do their own thing, break into cars and live in them, and just um, yeah, that kind of scenario where we just start collapsing as a country. And the main reason is because a lot of Americans can agree with what I'm going to say. Number one, to buy a home, pretty much unaffordable. And wages, this is the number one thing. Wages are not keeping up. No matter what the hell Wall Street says, it's a lie, really. A lot of Americans are going to say the same thing. Uh, I've seen videos, and it has to do with finance. I've seen videos where people are commenting on TikTok and YouTube and whatever, and social media, saying that they're having a hard time. Even within the last year, they're having hard times where um, ever since the pandemic, many people went out of business. Now with this inflation and everything, it's hard to keep up. And then multiple jobs are being taken. People are struggling. Americans are struggling. Some people believe in middle class. Some people don't. But times are rough. And then I will say this: uh, while we do understand that you know people need to work to make a living. And then the other thing too is that people just don't want to work. We have a younger generation. They're pretty lazy, to be honest, and they just don't want to work. And if they are trying, if they are, you know, a human being that actually wants to excel in life and actually wants to make a good living out of uh, what they want to do in the future, and they actually do want to have a future, then it sucks because uh, Some jobs are not even paying well. You got a job and then you don't even know if you might get let go or whatever. Tech industry is known for that. Uh, Healthcare industry is known for that as well. Um, Turnover is just, there's no escaping it. So other than that, wages, even though Wall Street says it's keeping up, they're not keeping up. Um, the jobs numbers and all that, um, sometimes they're bogus numbers. The reason being is because people have multiple jobs. People might have two part-time jobs, or they might have a full-time job and then a second job as a part-time, but then you're you're counting the part-time job maybe as a full-time job when the numbers come about. But then if that person, in general, were to leave their second job, this, as a part-time, that's not being accounted for. Why? I don't know, because, people want to seem like as if, you know, they're fully staffed and I guess keep money coming in. Or uh, they want to look good on paper, to say that, yeah, we're fully staffed and, you know, want to keep their earnings up and everything and, manipulate the numbers. It is what it is, whatever. Companies do it. There's, always these loopholes how people try to get away with stuff like that. On the other hand, I know about it because I've, read stuff about it like that. And then, yeah, Wall Street's just very corrupt. This is why I don't like working with them. And then we all know the falsehood with the whole, bailout situation. So again, we're supporting three wars. Um, Presidency is a joke. I'm just gonna keep throwing out highlights. Uh, if Trump was assassinated, who would have stepped up to the plate? Well, we would have had a rerun of, you know, the whole debate when, because Trump didn't debate with the whole Republican candidates. Would it be a rerun of that and actually see who we would, uh, something? Um, Another thing too is that uh, Trump choosing his running mate. I was very shocked that he didn't choose anybody from the debate stage. Because to be honest, um, the only one that stood out to me, not because he's a Republican, the only one who stood out to me because he seems like a legit American was Vivek Ramaswamy. Uh, when I saw the debate stage, um, you know, he's a Wall Streeter. I mean, he made his money, but you can tell he's very down to earth, family man, um, super intelligent, um, even a little bit beyond me. Uh, he's all into the political realm and all that. He knows his laws and everything. You'd think the guy went to law school, but tremendously talented individual. Some people don't like him just because he's Indian. And what is this wire under here? So anyhow, Vivek, I will say this about him: very dedicated and hardworking individual. I think that he should have had the potential to run as president. And again, the reason I say that, what stood out to me was when he first started running. Um, I will say this, and I did see his live streams, and when it came to the Iowa caucus, I'm not political, but I have to follow stuff like that because again, it might influence the stock market and reflects the stock market. So we had all these presidential candidates on the Republican Party. Uh, they head out to Iowa because I guess that's always the state that they want to reflect on first. For some reason, it's always Iowa that they say. I don't know. But Vivek was the only person that I actually saw on his live stream where, and this is every few hours. I don't look at every single live stream, but every few hours he gave his rally. Uh, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and all these other people. The other governor from New Jersey and whatever. So anyhow, uh, I don't know how many counties he stated. I think it was a little bit above 40. He said he was gonna visit, and I kid you not, uh, he Vivek on his YouTube he posted all these counties and he was traveling by bus and I think I was looking like maybe and I was at work too. I checked every 4 or 5 hours through that whole week and he was at different locations in Iowa. So the man is a man of his word. When he said he was gonna visit like I don't know, for example, all 42 counties in Iowa, he actually visited all those 42 counties in Iowa and he actually did Q&A with American citizens. He shook people's hands and he stated his opinion but also heard the opinion of others. I think that resembles great leadership, hearing out other people but then educating them at the same time. I have a lot of respect for. Now, again, this has nothing to do with political affiliation. Just respect as to him as a person and his intelligence. So, yeah, I think Vivek had a lot of potential. I think he would have made a great president, just because of him as a person. Again, even if he switched to the Democratic Party, for example, or independent, whatever, like just him as a person, uh, I can tell he's a great leader. When it comes to the Democrats, we'll see who Kamala Harris picks for her vice and her secondary. Um, I don't know. I'd rather see somebody proven or get on the debate stage or um, it's just weird. This is just like all of a sudden, everything's like all of a sudden. Even on both political sides, we have somebody's almost assassinated. Uh, Trump is, like doing better, and then he's still doing the rallies. Biden dropped out, and like he's experiencing pressure, and then we had the president of no, sorry, they don't call it president in Israel. The prime minister Benjamin Nanu. Sorry if I said it wrong. Um, I heard his speech too, which was pretty good. Which was pretty good. He mentioned obviously the war. That was pretty much the highlight. That was the main headline. Pretty much the war in Israel. You know, in against the Palestinians and Gaza and all that. Um, I have nothing against nobody, but we all know the U.S. is already supporting Israel, and we're sending weapons to them. Uh, Biden is very, very friendly with the prime minister from Israel. He even stated that they have been friends for over 40 years, and we're brothers in arms, basically. So by default, it looks like the U.S. Is affiliated automatically. I don't know if this is a NATO alliance. I don't know. But yeah, we're affiliated with Israel, and then we're already taking sides and supporting this war. Again, we're not in war officially with them. It's not the U.S. versus them, but again, we're supporting them by supplying, probably food, obviously weapons, maybe some medic. Sorry, my eyes are. It's already 2 in the morning, and I'm supposed to be in bed, but I had to be up tomorrow morning as well. But I had to get this video out because I promised my partners at Bloomberg that I was gonna do this, and here it is. So, again, this is like the first time in the 3 years that I have been doing YouTube, talking about politics. So the Nanu speech was pretty good. He I guess offended protesters when he said, you guys are idiots or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I guess he was offensive towards Democrats. You could tell he's very conservative, very strong-willed. Um, I didn't see a lot of people take offense now. I didn't take offense. I think he was just trying to be and sound a little bit more disciplined uh, towards American citizens. I didn't take it as like offensive. So I do agree with the speech and I do understand it. To me, I took it as like the way he was stating it as, um, you know, some of you guys that are protesting, you guys are acting like fools. That's what I got out of it. I didn't take it as, oh, like, oh, um, just somebody who's whining like, oh, who is this guy to be coming in our country and getting all offensive and anything. But it is what it is. I mean, words, sometimes words can be meaningless. Sometimes words can be powerful. But he didn't mean nothing by it. He definitely has showed his appreciation towards the American society and us as a whole when it comes to the political realm as Americans. So he actually stated also and appreciated and honored his Israeli soldiers. That was very commendable of him. We had one guy that he showed that he lost his arm and he lost, I think, his left eye, and he was still continuing to fight. And then I guess he founded his own company, or they promoted him to lead his own, I guess, unit or company, something thereof. And then they commended the soldiers, which was a pretty good gesture. And you can see in the speech that we're heavily aligned with Israel. So anyhow, supporting that war, the three wars, and then other than that, we have technology. Now I can finally move on to the next step. Technology. The week after, we had the company called CrowdStrike. I don't know the ticker symbol. It could be CRWD, but again, type it in CrowdStrike. So again, when it comes to political realm, like I said in the the past 40 minutes that I've been talking, just a recap. So DJT, I think, is this ticker symbol. So Donald Trump, and then the next ticker symbol is CrowdStrike, and this whole technology situation. So as I mentioned a month earlier, I have said, and it's happening, and it has happened already, and it's going to continue to happen. So I'm not changing my forecast. It is what it is. Like I said in the previous month, we got to look at oil, gold, and then I'm still bullish on insurance. And then the three industries that are going to lack is the banking sector still, commercial real estate, and then I also mentioned travel industry. That travel, I mentioned it a month ago, so please watch the video. It's shorter than this one. That travel this year all the way till December. I don't know about next year. But travel from now on to the end of the year is going to be considered a luxury item. Why? Because people like traveling and things are more expensive, and that, people love going on holidays.